swipe at that second attempt on the third second from Steph Fretwell.
The easy one into Jock. And they all put their hands in the air. Have a look at this. Time to perfection from Olivia Lewis. She's got an enormous vertical jump. And it's about timing it right. Fraser.
A better setup from the Mavs on that centre pass. Sasha Glasgow starting way back, but then she was ahead of the ball, ahead of the play to enable her.
Strong hit between Hinchcliffe and Glasgow. And I mean, usually you just think that's part of the game, but you can see Glasgow's face, just the emotion of, hang on a minute, I've got to stay strong here. Is my body okay?
And a good use of having the mops come out just to gather herself, take a couple of breaths.
Glasgow returning from a horrific leg injury. Plenty of moments she's had in the last 14 months. But what a way to enter her first game, round one in her first game for the Mavericks.
Liz Watson with that strong drive, drawing attention from the goalkeeper, from Liv Lewis.
Fretwell, Conan, short one, over the top. Lightning, out by 2. Parmenter to Jock.
Clever with the outside turn there from Amy Parmenter. She knew that she was under pressure from a goalkeeper coming out for a swipe at that one, turning outside to protect the ball, protect her body.
And listen, coach cams will be in action throughout the game. We will get to every single thing that the coaches want to say. We're going to be able to have eyes on them throughout the entire game. I'm sure they hate it, but we love it. Fretwell dodges one side, straight to the top. She lines up for 2.
That was better timing from Steph Fretwell. The rock back on one foot.
Parmenter takes the drive. The decoy run.
No, have a look where she is.
Umpire just taking control. Players, you listen to me. Fraser has the open feed to Jock.
I think that feed can go in super early. Jock is on very early there. They haven't let one go from the transverse line. I think the working to circle edge is great, but I do think she is an option. And if you can get that in there early on someone like a Courtney Bruce, Shimona Jock will get her confidence up.
Turnover here to the Mavericks.
Contact, goal, attack.
Mankiewicz to Brown. An opportunity here for the Mavericks. 1 minute 30 to play in the first. Fraser pushes it through to Parmenter. There's Jock's hand, as Kelsey Brown just said. It's there and it's ready.
Contact, goal, defense.
A lot of contact early. The penalty rate must be climbing. We're seeing a lot of players out of play, especially for the Lightning. Look at that, 18 to 12 at the moment. That's a stat the Mavericks would be actually enjoying seeing, because we know in the past they've been heavily penalised. Glasgow. She shot one already. She opts this time for the feed. The safe hands of Shimona Jock brings the Mavericks back to even. Conan back to Hinchcliffe. They lift it up to Cassidy. Still plenty of time.
Liv Lewis, she absolutely read that one was coming. She's been looking at those balls to Liz Watson at the top of the circle.
And the great backup too from Brown. As soon as she saw it was overrun, she got into front position. They're not even paying attention to Cara Conan in this position. It's a double on Steph Fretwell. They want them to take the one. They force them to take the one. Here's the Harvey Norman replay. Liv Lewis. Timing not quite there, but certainly the energy was. And Shimona Jock will run out of time in the middle of the court.
And the ball speed from the Lightning, unfortunately not reaping the rewards of how quick that was.
Brown with the settler. Taking their time, the Mavericks. 1:20 on the clock. The first quarter, 15-16. The second quarter, Lightning out by 3 at the moment.
And she back up court. Just inside the 2. Just inside, yes.
Pallavi.
Lunge offside.
Cross to Fraser. Here we go. The Bruce all over the shot of Glasgow. And all over the rebound.
Liz Watson, smart play just to bat that down.
Contact wing is there. Centre. Hold time. Let's set it up. Here you are.
48 seconds. Lightning out by 4.
Penalties just climbing up for both teams now. Seen some heavy hits. Players so far.
Sees Batchador. Liv Lewis steals it out of the air. Liv Lewis is having some sort of impact. Brown over to Nankerville.
Swinging that ball, trying to find the opening to penetrate into their attack.
Bruce quick to pick up in transition. They want to move it on. 15 seconds. Batchelor to Watson. Huge ball from Liz Watson to Steph Fretwell. Back to Batchelor. They soak up the clock and take the... There's 7 in it. Watson double teamed, triple teamed from the Mavericks defenders.
Mahalia Cassidy finding the edge of that circle very nicely.
Fretwell lines up for 2, swings to Batchelor. They're a double threat down this end. But this time the Mavericks through Brown. Jovic flies, puts everything at it. Pallavi enters the game. Straight in to the super shot arc. Unique Pallavi. That's her second.
Molly Jovic with the fist in the air, wanting to make them pay off this one.
And is this where the catch-up happens for the Mavericks? Down by 5.
Well, this was the question, wasn't it? They had Gabby Sinclair in their team last year, the most accurate two-point shooter, the Mavericks, and how they were going to replace that. Unique Pallavi is exactly the answer.
Enter the game. Watson. Straight up the middle. Brown out for contact. Fretwell. She'll turn and shoot. Locked out by Batchelor. Doesn't need any help on the rebound. That's her 5th Suncorp super shot.
Yeah, the penalties just climbing up for the Lightning defence end here. 11 for Marnua, 13 for Tara Hinchliffe. Just letting a little bit of that pressure off at times. Irvin.
Ash Irvin read that well. She's been floating in the right space. Glasgow just not making a move onto the ball. And it's an easy one for the Lightning, finished off by Batchelor. Again, the Lightning now out by 6. Cassidy held onto it for a long time. The Lightning with the patience.
Steph Fretwell rocks back on that foot, confident. Why wouldn't she be?
Lightning out by 8. This quarter, it has been chunks of momentum. One team, 5+ goals in a row, then it goes to the other. We've still got 2 minutes to play. Ash Irvin. Ball comes down that end twice. She gets it in her hands twice.
A big zone here coming from the Mavs. Blue dress is in that middle channel, forcing the Lightning wide. They finally crack it open.
Watson, double play, hits circle edge. Fretwell wants it, she gets it back. The pace and the timing of this Lightning attack is on full display. Lightning out by 9. Amy Parmenter reaches for the sky.
What an impressive intercept. 2 feet backing up. That's textbook defensive.
Look at this Harvey Norman replay. She gets 2 hands on it unbelievably from behind. Jovic gets it into Glasgow. Glasgow wants to get comfortable. The hands of Hinchliffe over the top, but Sasha Glasgow finding her confidence and rhythm.
Mavs having to reset a long way into their defence. Oh. The ball coming off the defensive foot of the Lightning, but the umpire not sighting it from that side. So difficult to see all the way over that side.
I'm surprised there wasn't more commotion about it. Manawa to Watson. It's a road ball, but it's scooped up, and Fretwell weaves her magic. Opens up the space, becomes the decoy. Batcheldor right under the post and takes the Lightning out by 8. Liv Lewis, hand to it, she scoops it up. Cassidy with the backup. It's all happening.
And we convert. Let's go. Okay. Mavs on 2. 1, 2, Mavs! Let's move!
Amy Parmenter, their captain, back out on court. You can see the next 5 matches for the Melbourne Mavericks. Awaiting them next week will be the New South Wales Swifts. Sunshine Coast Lightning. You can see Christiana Manawa just having a laugh with Liz Watson. And then no doubt the white line fever kicks in. The last 3 have gone Lightning's way. They lead by 8. 29 seconds before we hit the power 5. Glasgow out strong. She gets the contact call.
Unique Pallavi has entered the court, so Shimona Jock on the bench now in anticipation of the Mavericks trying to go for some 2s.
Glasgow spins around. Pallavi wants to take it quickly. 1 back for the Mavericks.
A fired up meeting for the Lightning at that timeout. We know that they haven't got a win against the Mavs. They lost last year, both games by 1 goal. They're fired up. They really want this one. The key points from Belinda Reynolds was no penalties in that goal circle, no second chance shots. And to make sure you pick and choose. Oh, huge intercept from Kim Jenner there. Make sure you pick and choose the ones that you want to go for. We don't want those easy penalties.
Kim Brown sitting off the body. Unique Pallavi, she turns quickly. She wants to take it. Listen to this crowd here at John Cain Arena. They love what Pallavi is doing, and so do we. 4 from 4 at 100%. Parmenter.
Amy Parmenter doing a wealth of work in attack down the court. Unique Pallavi.
Here she goes again. This time the crowd also let her know that.
But the rebounding power in Jock obviously taken off because they want the double threat in that 2-point zone.
Fretwell crafts her way back into the circle. Out she comes again, opens it up for Batcheldor. As we see time and time again, she grabs the ball in the air, she lands close to the post. Parmenter stands aside.
You get the feeling that the experience of this Lightning team, the internationally experienced heads, they're going to work this clock really smartly to try to hold possession and stop the opportunity for the Mavericks to...
Batcheldor, one out on her own, but then it's the small penalties that are costly for the Mavericks in these big moments. Batcheldor, another Suncorp super shot. They gifted her that one. Nankerville under pressure. Parmenter. The only option is over the top of the Lightning defenders. Pallavi holds post position. She wants it in the 2. Can she weave her magic again? This time, Glasgow from the top. It comes up short. The backup is on, though. Sasha Glasgow, again, this time, in the hands of Ash Irvin. Watson. To Manawa. Straight to Bachelor.
The vision straight to the circle, cutting through all the mess. The attack line just deciding they wanted to run a few more seconds off the clock. Look at that opening, that vision straight down the guts.
And that just absolutely comes from experience, doesn't it? Knowing to look in, knowing when to look in, and then taking the risk and letting it go. Steph Fretwell, 10 from 11 in the ones, but 5 from 7 when it comes to Suncorp super shots. Lightning now out by 10.
This for me is something that this Mavs combination needs some work on. Glasgow and Pallavi in the circle, they're not quite sure who's the dominant one staying in there and who's going. Both of them out of the circle at once, then both of them staying in together. We'll get better with more practice out there on the court.
And Pallavi, there she goes again.
And a huge shout out to Bailey Boyd of the Sunshine Coast Lightning. She comes on court for a debut in Suncorp Super Netball. Something that always gives me goosebumps. It's an incredible feeling when you get to go out there. So congratulations to Bailey Boyd, who's run on into centre to finish out this game.
And debut alongside Liz Watson playing her 150th. Fretwell. She launches it high. 6 Suncorp super shots. Takes the Lightning's lead out by 10. And they really have taken all the time away now from the Mavericks. A stellar performance from this Sunshine Coast Lightning outfit. There's not enough time for Pallavi to hit the scoreboard again. What a win for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Let's remember, back in 2024, the Mavericks beat the Lightning twice by 1 goal. Pre-season, the Mavericks beat the Lightning again. This is the first time the Sunshine Coast Lightning have a win over the Melbourne Mavericks. And what a time to do it. The start of a season, they're the most